Wandering through the woods, we took our hamster Stephan for a walk so he can run around on the ground for a while and enjoy the natural conditions. He was so happy that he decided to move into someone's hole in the woods. We barely managed to get him out of there, who knows what could have lived there. Watching him roaming through the woods, we thought, what if we could make a similar environment at home? We could make a cage with real soil, moss twigs and maybe even plants. Why not? And we started to figure out how to make this idea come true. It'll be similar to a glass terrarium, but with a bevel top and not a rectangular shape. We didn't want to deal with cutting and gluing the glass ourselves, therefore we drew a chart and decided to send it by a pigeon to the glass craftsman, who should complete the task soon. Meanwhile, in order not to waste time, let's prepare a stand for the terrarium to make it easier to carry. We measure the width of the stand on such a bar and cut off 2 of its pieces. They will allow us to lift the stand above the table surface, and in this form it can be grasped with fingers. After all, the terrarium will be filled with dirt, which is quite heavy, and it can all weigh up to 45 pounds, plus the weight of Stephan himself. The bolts don't come out over the bar, but just in case we will glue soft pads so as not to scratch the table. The stand is now ready. It's time to go into the woods to gather everything we need to arrange the terrain. It can be a wood bark, some moss, which can also be useful for some hamster activities. We need to take a lot of stuff and Stephan will decide what he needs and how to use it. We also decided to take a little bit of forest soil, which contains various microorganisms that will benefit our ecosystem. When I got home, I got a call from the craftsman telling me that the hamsterium was ready. I quickly got there to pick up the stuff and continue the work. When I arrived, he said, "Here's your glass, you owe me $50. And I asked why was it so expensive. Stephan himself cost only half the price, even though he's very much priceless now. The craftsman said that supposedly it was some kind of a super cool and transparent glass, and he did it out of turn. I had no choice, I paid him and took it home. The stand fits just perfectly. Please don't bother me, we have a lot of work to do. Compared to Stephan's cage, the hamsterium is way larger, and we can start happily filling it. We add a little bit of expanded clay at the bottom, so that the extra moisture will accumulate there, because we may water the soil, which will be on top. We took the soil from a pot where our watermelon and later peanuts used to grow. Everything is reused so that nothing goes to waste. You may ask why we put such a large layer of clay. It's so that if Stephan wants to dig a burrow, he has enough space under the surface. Plus, over time, the soil will sag a little bit. Next, we place our moss and other wood treasures that we brought from earlier. We don't really care about the certain decorations because everything will change. And for sure, Stephan will probably arrange everything to his liking, or maybe even dig everything up. In the beginning, we placed him in such a house, until he built himself a new one, or perhaps he doesn't know how to do it. Anyways, this house will make the adaptation easier. Right here, we'll put some sawdust, perhaps he will sleep on it. And it would seem that everything is ready. But there is one problem. The top of the hamsterium remains open, and Stephan can easily escape from it on the first day. We measured the top hole and cut 4 pieces of wooden planks, which when folded together formed a frame like this. We attach the corners with hot melt adhesive, but for safety we also fix it with small nails. Also, we bought such a thin mesh in the DIY store, and we cut off a piece we need, which we also fastened with nails. We left 2 sticking out ones that allow the lid to hold in place. And finally, it's done! Stephan got quite a big space for comfortable living. It's time to let him inside his new house. Come on, Stephan, move in! Honestly, he was shocked at first. He didn't know what to do or where to go. Instead of going in the house, he climbed on top of it. Then he jumped down into the sawdust and started digging it. Yeah, it seems that this beauty and order won't last for long. Yeah, Stephan, it's all yours. Get in the house. Finally, he did it! He seems to like it there, but instead of laying sawdust down there, he started digging a tunnel right inside the house. Maybe he just needs a basement. Then he crawled outside, checked the area, and climbed into a soft pile of moss. After that, he started chewing it. I have a guess as to why he's doing it, but I won't tell you that yet. Perhaps you can guess yourself. Stephan returned to the house and again began digging something there. He dug a tunnel under the wall of the house, making a second exit. He can't figure out that the door is in a different place, and he doesn't know how to enter the house properly. Watching the hamster actively exploring the underworld, I wondered why the earth doesn't actively get into his big shiny eyes, and the white fur doesn't get dirty at all. As soon as he shakes, everything gets off, and he's almost clean again. It's just amazing how nature has thought of everything. Meanwhile, there is already a third passageway under the house. I'm afraid that the house might fall underground over time. I'm worried about Stephan. After half an hour of hard work, Stephan managed to enlarge his burrow into a roomy palace. Then he calmed down, found some stub and decided to have a snack. For a while, he cleaned his fur coat, washed his face and decided to get some sleep, curled up in a ball. This is just the first video about Stephan in his hamsterium. We're looking forward to your suggestions for improvements and arrangements. We want to create the most interesting and enjoyable conditions. For example, since we have soil everywhere, we can plant something edible there. But will Stephan let it grow or will he dig it all up? Maybe we can make some kind of a vegetable garden with a fence. We're looking forward to all your ideas. We left him some food for the night, put a running wheel and fasten a drinker on the lid. What awaits us in the morning we will see in the next video about Stephan and his hamsterium. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to see new fascinating videos.